I was teaching kids a skill set that I had, boxing, and I developed core values for them, and we were reading them and doing that stuff, and they're really excelling. The team is growing. And I'm growing when I'm with the team, right? There's no doubt about that. But I'm still not living to those core values in my life. I'm living to those core values in that ecosystem.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
The question is personal brand and corporate brand.
Okay.
How you do it to define your position.
All right. I wish this was taught more in school, right? And this is a huge thing that I'm working on right now. What I write about, my book, Reclaim Sobriety, is about my sobriety journey. But really, when you come down to the core of it, it's about self-identity and identity. And it's something that we don't talk about a lot through school because we're trying to teach people how to be part of a system and a group, right? And over years and decades of learning and coaching and going to flow coaching and learning neuroscience and doing all these things, the realization that I finally came to is that a human needs two things to be wildly successful in any domain on the planet. The first one is to adopt the identity of the person that you're trying to become, whatever that is. If I want to be a boxer, I start saying I'm a boxer, right? I develop or if I want to be a comedian, I say I'm a comedian. I stop saying I'm trying to be. I stop saying that language. I just start committing to the thing that I'm going to start doing. I develop a set of core values for that particular persona. I read them every single day until I embody them. I read them loud and proud. I yell them, right? I've got them written. When I coach my students, I read their core values loud and proud, right? The last two are always imagine where you want to be in life and believe that you can get there. The language that we use is wildly important. Those are the two things that I think you absolutely have to have. The third thing is harder, and that's removing negative influence from your life, right? It's really challenging to be positive all the time. And we know there's negative. We know that any minute something could happen. The government could change the rules and we could be out of business like that. We got to find a whole new way to build everything. We know all that's true, right? We've lived through it. They shut us down at COVID. Hey, you can't even do business for 3 months. This happens. We know about it. There's times to have those risk meetings, risk assessment meetings. There's people to do that. But if you allow negative thinking people into your life that are going to talk negative and use non-definitive language like, oh, we'll try to do that, then that is a toxicity that will chisel away the foundation under your feet at such a slow rate. You won't even know what's happening. And you'll constantly feel like you're on loose dirt and you're trying to climb a hill that you can't ever get footing. You'll never know why, but it's these tiny little negative nitbits that are floating around in your universe that are just taking that energy away from you.
Ken, regarding this, when I started my first business, there is no entrepreneurs in my family. I was the first one. And everybody around me, I got a degree in chemical engineering. So everybody around me would say, why you don't find a job as an engineer? Or why you don't, you shouldn't be doing this. So I have a degree of uncertainty because I want to try something different. And the people surrounded by me, my parents, my friends, their friends, the first time that I opened the business, I went out with the friends. Everybody will say, oh, I did this in my job. I did this. When I say, guys, I opened this business. It's amazing. Nobody cares. So I realized that I'm losing my friends. My family is telling me, find a job, find a job, find a job. That's why my parents are teachers, so that's why they know. So then I have a degree of uncertainty there. And on top of that, as you know, starting your first business, when you don't know anything, this process is hard. Finding your first client, finding expanding, you don't know anything. I didn't even know what marketing was until the 4th year. You know what I mean? I was posting my rooms in Gumtree and I was renting it. And after 4 years, I learned, oh, that's marketing. Oh, that's my marketing strategy. I was doing it by trial and error, basically, because I didn't have anybody to learn. So, and then this uncertainty, you become a little bit insecure as well. The problem with that is you bring people to your organization that are the reflection of you. without knowing. You just don't know. So now your own insecurity, the people you surrounded yourself, they are also insecure, and it's really, really difficult
Yeah.
to. So then I have, for example, an incident when some employee they stole money from me, right? So then I realize I'm bringing toxic people to the organization. This is what's happening. Okay, so let's reframe. And until I start to hire my sales director, the girls they were better than me and everything. And one day I arrived to the office and they told me, Harry, go home. We don't need you here. Try the work if you want. We can grow this company without you. And everything runs in autopilot, but it was a tough, difficult process that I said to you very easy, but you actually know what it takes. And I realized
So
that
hard.
I had to work on myself first, and I didn't know where to go or what to do. And if I'm negative, if I'm insecure, then I take decisions that will impact the business. And I learned that in the hard way to save a lot of money several times. So when do you realize that, hold on a minute, it's not the business, it's me. These people came to organization because I brought them. And if I want different kind of people, I have to change. And how you start and where do you find help? Because entrepreneurs, we have something, yeah, that we have ego. We think that we can do better. Otherwise, we won't be entrepreneurs, right? So that ego is always there. So we had to surrender somehow that ego and say, you know what? I had to. So when was the key moment that you realize, hold on a minute, I really, if I want to own multiple business, I want to become a millionaire, and I want to help entrepreneurs. Do this podcast we have, and share my experience to help entrepreneurs. I had to become a different me. When do you have that realization, and what happened?
I say all the time, man, why didn't anybody tell me when I was younger? And then I really think about it, I'm like, oh, I can recognize people where times where people try to tell me. I wasn't ready to hear it. I couldn't hear what they were saying in those times. So I think it's experience is
100%.
what you have to go through. For me, that experience came in a time where I had a gym. I was training kids. Doctors have this learn, teach, do, that kind of mentality. And so I was teaching kids a skill set that I had, boxing, and I developed core values for them, and we were reading them and doing that stuff, and they're really excelling. The team is growing, and I'm growing when I'm with the team, right? There's no doubt about that. But I'm still not living to those core values in my life. I'm living those core values in that ecosystem, right? But I kind of thought, oh, that's that ecosystem, and I'm a
Wow,
man.
that's
I can do
interesting.
whatever I want when
Oh,
I leave,
wow, interesting.
right? And it didn't click until there was a night I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I was coming home from Podfest. I was driving through Atlanta, Georgia, or Georgia, Taylor County, Georgia. I lost my mindfulness. I was listening to the radio. I turned up the music and I rolled the windows down and I started speeding. I wasn't paying attention. I got pulled over in Georgia going 98 and a 60. I'm a medical cannabis user in Missouri, which I didn't know was wildly illegal in Georgia. And I got to spend 2 weeks
Oh,
as a
wow,
resident
interesting.
there.
Wow.
And, I got out and I thought about drinking that day. I didn't. And I was like, I'm such an idiot that I've taught these kids how to overcome and change their lives. And it's changed my life in so many ways. But I'm not adopting the things that I'm telling them to adopt in their lives. I need to adopt those. I need to become
Mm-hmm.
what we
Mm-hmm.
call them as a box STL gladiator. I need to become
Mm-hmm.
the gladiator of my life. I need to be able to live my life
100%.
without all this emotional armor and live my
Mm.
life in a clean, free way. And I made
Do you
that
have
decision.
any
And
entrepreneurs in your family? Any
Harry,
entrepreneurs in your family?
I'm adopted. And I can tell you that I can recall walking into the house late at night my entire childhood. My parents would be sitting on the couch watching some crappy TV show, talking about the business that they wanted to start. Going to their factory job, going to their restaurant job, talking about the business that they want to start so that they can be their own person. My stepdad, Ron, about 2 years before he passed away, finally made the decision to start a courier business. He bought a van,
Wow.
he started
Wow.
couriering, and I'll tell you that I think it was the best 2 years of his life that I ever knew him. And it was definitely the best 2 years of our relationship together in our lifetime, right? Because he had something that I could understand. He wasn't
Wow.
I could see the man get up every day and go to do something he didn't want to do. Right.
Mm.
And I saw this repeatedly, and I'm like, why?
Mm.
Why are you doing this? This is horrible. You got like, I could not comprehend it as a child, and I
Mhm.
can't comprehend it as an adult. Why you would
Mm.
wake up and walk into a position every single day of your life, something you don't want to do. And I'm so excited in 2026 that I truly believe that you have an option now, that the bar has been lowered so much that if you want to be your own boss and make
Mhm.
$50,000 to $250,000 a year selling SpongeBob SquarePants stuff, you can do it.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.